the story of Gideon, at last we've come to the battle itself. And with such an extraordinary strategy, numbers are cut down to 300 and they're sent into a battle without one sword among them all. They had to carry with them jars and lights. And the light presumably hidden inside the jar, and at the given moment they had to smash the jars and hold up the lights. Strange weapons for a fight. And yet actually it's an amazing strategy here. And some people have said, well, what is this all about? And sometimes people have interpreted it, well, it's all about the Christian sort of breaking his outer life and letting the light of Jesus shine, having dealt with the flesh and so on. But actually that's not the strategy. It's not about individuals having spiritual breakthrough. If you can imagine the story, if one of the guys kind of had a breakthrough and smashed his jar and held up his light, I mean, I think one of the soldiers in the valley would have said, oh, what's that? And taken his bow and arrow and finished that one guy off. Surely the whole strategy was that they all shouted together and they all held up their light together. And suddenly those in the valley see 300 lamps and this corporate shout. The challenge is whether we can stay united, especially when you think of the story, they're separated in darkness. It's easy to stay united in daylight, face to face, shaking hands, smiling at one another. Yeah, we tend to stay united when we're together. It's when you get separated. You're in the dark, you can't see your brother, your sister, and then you hear something. I wonder if you're familiar with that story of Chinese whispers, where you go into a room and perhaps sit in a circle and somebody whispers something and you have to pass it on to the next one around the circle and then see what comes out the other end to see if it's anything like what was whispered to the first one. Imagine these 300 soldiers all around, shall we imagine, a kind of horseshoe shape of hills, the soldiers in the valley, this great army. And then one calls to another and says, what is it we have to shout? And someone shouts back, a sword for the Lord and for Gideon. Oh, thanks. What is it? A sword for the Lord and for Gideon. Oh, great, great. What is it we have to say? It's going around the circle. It's something about Gideon's sword. Oh, great. Next one. Gideon's got a sword. Great. Next one. Hey, Gideon's got a sword. Hey, he looked after himself, didn't he? I've just got a lamp. I've just got this light in this jar. Hey, what's this all about? Wow. You know, what can happen is the lesson, the message gets distorted. And that happens in church life all the time, dear friends. Beloved, stories get passed on and they're not checked out. Someone doesn't say, hey, let me just check that before I pass it on. We say, really? That gossip gets passed on. And today in our modern social contact on our telephones, social media, I mean, it's just horrendous, things that get passed on and things I get, things that come back to me on my social media. You think, I can't believe things that were said as though they were true. They can just distort. Fellowship's lost. The power is broken. You see, the church, when it's united, is such a powerful force. A united church, wow, what a weapon in any given town. A community of people all on the same page, all singing from the same hymn tune, all believing God together. What a power. It's when that church is disunited, when people won't sit together, won't talk to one another because I heard this and she said that and he said this. And then more broadly, whole bodies of Christians won't have any fellowship with one another. No wonder the power is lost. The genius of this battle is their extraordinary unity. Gideon said, do as I do. When he smashed his jar, held up his light, 300 together shouted, a sword for the Lord and for Gideon. Mighty breakthrough took place because they were united. Anybody you out of step with? Anybody you won't talk to? Anyone who said, well, I've heard this about them. Hey, come on, dear friends. Let's sort things through. Let's build a united church for the glory of God.